So good to see back. Just 5 minute gap between my previous and this one, and I was just referring, to about what's happening to the PSU last few year and what basically we're looking, and that's basically we gather here to discuss in more detail. And welcome, sir. And I'm looking forward to have what we call inclusive conversation and how we can basically share more perspective to take those conversations forward. Now, just to set the context, I think next 25, 26 years when we're talking about, we are going to add 26, 25 trillion to that piece, and PSU is going to play a larger role in that. And every year we are talking about 1 trillion economy getting added to the system, which means PSU has to take a lead. PSU has to basically drive that agenda about talking about those innovation, talking about the private partnership, talking about creating new channel for the revenue, taking those technological development to the grassroots level to basically uplifting them and bringing to the social net, bringing to the monetary net, and talking about those pieces which is somehow looks broken, to bring it together and weave in a one strength and to drive those inclusive agenda. With that, I think we have our esteemed panelists, and I'm looking forward to have a continued conversation. And just first thing, Dr. Jain, I basically turn to you. And we are talking about 30 trillion economy by, let's say, 2047. In your perspective, do you think that there has to be strategic reorientation among the PSUs? If you think that's a reality, then what specific changes should they consider to align with this new goal?
Thank you for this opportunity.
I think this is not on. Yeah. It's on?
It's on.
Yeah.
It's working.
Can you hear? Yeah. Yes, let's go ahead.
Hello. It's working?
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone, and I'd like to thank organizers for this opportunity to interact on this very, very important topic, the trajectory of Indian economy towards 2047 to achieve 30 trillion economy. It's a tall order, and PSUs have to make every effort to reach to that level, and they have big goal in this journey. Let me start with some background of Delhi Metro. Again, thank you. So now it's working. So let me start with a little bit background of Delhi Metro and how Delhi Metro has achieved this feat that we are among the top PSUs in the country. We are known for our operational excellence, operational efficiency, and then I'll draw upon the experiences of Delhi Metro. Planning for metro system in Delhi started in 1960s. And the company, Delhi Metro Rail Corporation, was incorporated in 95. We started our work in 1998, and the first train started rolling in year 2002, just within 4 years, and which was 2 years, 9 months ahead of the target date. So we could build metro in just 4 years. And at the same time, there was an example of Kolkata Metro, which took 12 years. And the memory of that Kolkata Metro was fresh in everybody's mind. In fact, on this 4th of August 2024, Shri S.D. Devgowda, who was the Prime Minister in 1996, he traveled by metro, and he expressed lots of satisfaction on the journey of Delhi Metro. And he told us that when this project was being sanctioned, even his cabinet colleagues were against this project. They were saying that this cannot happen in Delhi. The Delhi being very congested city, how you will dig the city, how you will construct metro system in a city like Delhi, it was kind of beyond anybody's imagination. When we started our first train in 2002, Dr. E. Shridharan, I hope everybody is aware, he's called Metro Man of India. His words were, this is like dreams come true. And our punctuality record has been 99%. We are running 392 kilometers of the network, 4,000 trips per day, carrying 7 million passenger journeys a day. We are member of a Comet group of metro systems, which have 45 international metros. And I proudly say that we are among top 5 metro systems in the world in terms of the cost of operations per passenger kilometer, in terms of affordability, in terms of reliability, and in terms of efficiency, punctuality of the system. So PSUs can do everything that we are asked to do. So what are the learnings from this experience of Delhi Metro? We are in operations for last more than 20 years now. I think there is some reorientation, restructuring is required among metros in terms of the organization, in terms of the technology, in terms of the culture. When I talk about organization, we should have thin and lean organization. Again, coming back to the example of Delhi Metro, our number of staff per route kilometer is 35, which is again best among the international metros. For New York Metro, it is 74. For London Metro, it is around 47. Even for Seoul, it is 54. And we are running at 35. Again, there is huge scope of improvement in this also. The new metro systems that are coming in the country, they are even running at 27 staff per route kilometer. So, second, flat organization, less hierarchy, and breaking the silos. That's we are doing in Metro, Delhi Metro. Most of our Delhi Metro people are from railways, and you know, in railways there is huge compartmentalization, huge silos are there, which impacts the efficiency of the organization. From the day one, we have been mindful of this fact that we will not let silos come into the efficiency of the organization. Then coming to the technological part, we should emphasize upon automation, digitalization, and indigenization. From day one, we started automation in our system. Like we started with automatic signaling system. We started with the automatic fare collection system. Our trains are smart enough. They have cab signaling, so drivers need not look at the fixed signal, and these things are safer also. Then we are going for huge digitalization. Digitalization for our customer services, digitalization for our asset management, maintenance of the assets. And third thing, which is very important for in the Indian context, that is indigenization. Most of the technologies, advanced technologies, are coming from Western countries, and we cannot be dependent on them. I'll give you one example. There is a system of, sorry, I'm taking a little more time, but we wanted to do some change in our signaling system. One speed restriction was required to be changed from temporary to permanent. The OEM asked for 1 crore rupees just to write one word in the code. So then we decided that no, we'll have our own signaling system, and we have started developing our own indigenized ATS system, indigenized CBTC, that is communication-based train control system. So point is that we need to go for indigenization. Then coming to the cultural part, first thing I would like to emphasize is decision making. For any government officer, decision making is very, very critical, and all of us are inherently risk averse. So my advice to all the PSU officers is take decisions, don't be risk averse. I'll again give you an example. I was with Delhi Metro in 2012. One file was stuck with me for 1 month, and Dr. E. Sridharan called me. That was 2010, sorry. He asked me, what were you doing with this file? So I told him that there were so many complexities, I was not able to decide. There were so many issues. He said that you were required to do only one thing. You should have come to me, discussed with me, and took the decision if you are not sure about the decision. And same day, he gave the decision, and by the evening, that issue was settled. So the learning for me as an individual was that don't delay the file, don't delay decision making. Decisions may go wrong, decisions may be right, but not taking the decision is very, very, it may cause serious losses. So take decisions, don't be risk averse. Risk of not taking decisions, the risk of not taking risk is more than risk of taking the risks. Then information sharing is very important. In many of the PSUs, we work in silos. So information sharing is very important among the different departments. And then culture of innovation, culture of continuous learning. That's very important in these days when technology is changing very fast. So these are some of the bits that I think required for reorientation and restructuring among the PSUs. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. This was really good. I think in just one statement, there's multiple things. We talk about thin and clean, breaking the silos, bringing the efficiencies, self-dependencies, innovation, technological improvement, and more than that, the decision making. So that's a critical, and that's basically the base how we grow. Thanks for this one. And now coming to you, Shri Krishna Sinhaji, about the innovation, that how can PSU cultivate this culture of innovation and within their organization, how we can bring in those practices so at least they continue this innovation and bring those innovation culture among the employees of the PSU. So at least we talk about those, one of the strong pillar, that's innovation. But those culture, how we can bring in the PSUs? Your take.
Well, growth of PSUs are highly dependent upon this culture, and we need to have inculcate those cultures in our system so that the employees, they remain motivated and want to do new things, innovative things, and take the organization forward. Well, in my view, see, when we take young executives in PFC from our premier institutions and all, so the guys, they want to work and want to prove their capability. Everyone has that attitude. As a senior, one needs to look into those things and start working on it, give them proper opportunity. As Mr. Jain said, that they should give them opportunity to take decisions on time, whether it's right or wrong in their initial stage of their career, so that when they grow in the organization, they start taking bold decisions. And of course, the monitoring of the projects which they are working on. You see, the PSU plays a very critical part in the growth of the country. When, if you talk about PSUs, it was around 5 PSUs way back in 50s, early 50s, yeah, which has now grown to around 365 or so, something more than that. And that is why, in order to create those competition among the PSUs, government has come out with various schemes like Navratna, Maharatna, and all those. So that mini Ratnas are also there. So people keep, there's a competitive atmosphere among the PSUs so that they keep performing well and increase their portfolios in the market so that they are rated Navratna or Maharatna and all those. And it all depends upon the employees, their culture, their motivation towards the organization. And to keep them motivated, we also need to see that what are the opportunities that are available in the market, and accordingly, we start working on those. A great leader need to be a very, very futuristic. So when we look at what's coming up in next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the line, that is what we are talking about around. That where we would be in 2047. So the government has already chalked out a roadmap to that, and each PSUs do have those roadmap with them to work on those. In the power sector, I am working with Power Finance Corporation. We do have a system, the capacity addition plan in the renewable sector that we are working on, net zero. So, and the renewable capacity addition plan, which is very, very ambitious, we are presently around 120, 150 gigawatt of renewable power, which we have to take it to around 500 gigawatt by 2030. So a lot of investments are required, and of course, the policy making has to be there from the government side. So those things are being worked out. And if you have a conducive policy in the market, if you have the system in place, and the government's role is to see that like the new technologies that we have been talking about, like green ammonia, green hydrogen, which is yet to come up in the country. And so the roadmap to develop those type of projects, government has to notify the policies in time so that it comes up. And as a lender, we keep working on it. And as a lender, we have to work on our appraisal skills, how to appraise those projects. And the employees also, once the challenging atmosphere comes in, we give them a challenge. Now, this is a new type of projects which are coming up, which are futuristic. they take on the challenge and they start working on. So as a seniors, we need to give them opportunity to develop. And to develop that, we can impart interactions among the employees, frequent interaction with those who are experienced in these fields. Even those who have international experience, we call them, we ask them to give a lecture, guest lectures, and send those guys for training and all to different, in the domestic as well as the international market, so that they get an exposure, first-hand exposure into such new technologies which are coming up in the system. So this is how we keep the employees motivated and we get good results. Thank you.
Thank you. I know, and well said about your futuristic vision, because that's required. And thus you know that which direction you're growing, and that basically keeps everyone motivated to achieve the target. I know most of us will be the sales, so they know that how the target basically set, and that basically they need to achieve that piece. Now, moving to you, Shri Harishji, about those, the technological innovation when you talk about how PSU can ensure that reach to the last mile, because it's happening, technological development happening, technological innovation happening at a central level. How we can basically ensure that reaches to the grassroots level effectively, and so that this bring everyone along.
Thank you. Hello.
Yeah.
Am I audible? Yes. For any innovation to reach to the last mile, you need connectivity to the user, end user. In that segment, Railtel is uniquely placed. We have got our core network of 62,000 kilometers and city access network of 21,000 kilometers. So we are having a total network of 83,000, connecting around more than 11,000 POPs across Pan-India. So providing connectivity to the end user, we are uniquely placed, and we can provide it to any PSU. And for any application to reach, you need a digital platform, and along with mobile application. And for providing that, you need a data center for hosting those applications. And Railtel is also having its data center located in Gurugram and Secunderabad, where we can provide access to CPSEs so that they can provide access to their applications from a central location. So, and apart from that, all these digital platform and mobile applications should be available in the regional language also, so that the end user can connect themselves with these innovations. And to sustain any technical innovation over a longer period of time, they should be environmental friendly, and they should be cost effective. Indian market is very cost sensitive, so that cost element also needs to be taken care of. And for reducing gap between technological innovation and their implementation to the grassroots level, in my view, that CPSE should involve local communities, so that right from the planning stage itself, so that during implementation stage, any needs or requirement of local community can be taken care of, and they should be incorporated by CPSEs during any implementation of technological advancement. And apart from that, they should involve local communities for giving training regarding whatever technological innovation they are introducing, so that they can adopt and accept that technological innovation over a longer period of time. And the next thing is that they should have an inbuilt performance monitoring network mechanism and the feedback mechanism, so that they can improve the implementation of their technological implementation. Thank you.
No, thank you. I think that's required, how basically all the stakeholders works together to bring it the parity and take those things forward. I think when you talk about the digital advancement, the pandemic have taught some lesson, and the digital advancement in the country is 7 times faster what it should be, what it should have been normally without pandemic. So people have learned, even the grassroots, even in the villages now, things change. The QR code, I think, you go to any of the town, that's another level of basically we brought the change in a local premise, which is great. So looking more of that, let's see how we take it ahead. Now, let's change the track and talk about the public-private partnership and how we can foster that piece. And coming to you, Dr. Jain, and the one space that, how you see that from a company growth perspective, from a project execution perspective, how we can bring in this behavior in the public-private, and how we can nurture, how we can foster. What are the challenges and opportunity you see in this space? So at least we can bring in some ecosystem where we are basically growing together.
Yeah, for growth of the public sector, private sector support is very much required. Although our experience with PPP project has not been very good. You know the case of Airport Express line, which was done by Reliance Infra, supported Temple, but still we have a lot to learn from private sector, and we have a lot to gain from private sector, because the way technology is changing, it's very, very fast, and for a public sector to adapt to that change may be overwhelming. So we need support of private sector to bring in lots of new technology, new efficiency, and so there are lots of opportunity for this collaboration. But yes, there are challenges, of course, more so in the safety critical areas like metro system, because we cannot adapt the new technology without ensuring that it has been already proven. Because most of our items in operations are safety critical. We cannot be dependent on a new signaling system unless it has been proven, it has been certified by some international agency or our RDSO. So those kind of challenges are there in adopting new technology from private sector. But yes, we have to work together to get insights in new technology as well as efficiency. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Jain. Shri Sinha ji, aapka any comment you have on same subject?
Yes, the challenges are there in the market, and then the public-private participation, of course, it has proved useful in many areas, particularly in, say, if I am a power sector person, so I can talk about the power sector. Particularly in thermal power plant where we have a main equipment supplier as in, say, GE as one of the supplier. So if I have a joint venture, so NTPC entered into a joint venture with GE, and they started taking up the operation and maintenance works. And so that the NTPC engineers don't have to put their officer on the maintenance part. So the technology transfer can take place from the GE part and the operational experts from NTPC. So those two experts can combine together and give good results. So that is how things have changed the system. So in number of cases, we do have public-private participation. Yeah, and to meet the challenges, the competitive atmosphere also needs to be there. As a PSU, we need to create a competitive atmosphere in the market so that, see, I can cite some examples in this regard.
Please, yeah.
As you all must be aware that there had been number of NPAs in the power projects, power sector, particularly thermal power projects became NPA in the books of many lenders. And so it went through NCLT process and the bidding started, and the main players in those were the private sector companies who were participating and getting the projects at a nominal cost. Being an expert in the sector, we could see that those price has a different value, but was going through NCLT process at a very lower value. Then we thought that let us start working on and ask other PSUs like NTPC to come forward and participate. They were not initially they were reluctant. We said that, okay, we'll come as an equity partner with you, and we'll support you financially. You come as an operational partner, and let's work on some of the project. So we participated in a bidding. We got one project where NTPC got 51. We gave them 51% stake, and we took 49% stake. And that's how we could get the project. And the see, the lending is a different business altogether, where most of the lenders are in the banking sector. We in the power sector, we saw that we need to have value to the project. And the things started changing after that. Recently, there was a bidding and when we motivated NTPC to start participating in the bidding process. Being a thermal power sector company who is into generation, thermal power generation, they need to participate in the thermal projects, and they started participating on that. Through ministry, also suggested that they should come forward. And recently, we had a project, KSK Mahanadi, which was bidded out in NCLT, and NTPC participated, Coal India participated, Newly Lignite participated. So all PSUs participated, and there was a good competitive atmosphere. And as a lender, we could achieve more than our principals, which we were giving those projects at losses. We are able to recover more than what the principal. So that is a major milestone. So it could come only when we had a competitive atmosphere, and the PSUs came forward to start participating on the bidding process. Normally, PSUs, they are government ducks. They say that, okay, if government allocates me a project, I'll work on it, otherwise. But the market demand is something different. They have to come forward, and they have started. Even in PFC, I'll talk about my organization, Power Finance Corporation, that we had been funding power projects, and of late, when we saw that the power projects are with the renewable projects are coming up forward, but the thermal, because of the net zero environmental issues, the coal-based projects are lesser in number, and it is, so we need to grow, increase our business. So we got permission from the government to participate in the infra business also. And we started working on infra projects, which was a new area. We also analyzed few metro projects. We are funding metros now.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Mumbai Metro is also where we are there. I analyzed myself, Jaipur Metro. But these are the projects, the airport business also we have working on. We have done some projects in the roads. But all these businesses are totally different from what we were doing in power sector. And the boys, the officers in our organization, they are quite highly motivated towards that, because they get all those challenging, the water, the green hydrogen, the renewable. The renewable is almost stabilized now. But yes, the other infrastructure projects, those are very challenging. They have a different revenue model. They have a different structure altogether. Take, for example, airport business. It never has a COD. There's no project completion date. It's a continuous process. Even the airport, Delhi airport, GMR airport, they are continuously adding infrastructure to that. The new hotels, Aero City is part of the airport business. And you see, if you go towards the airport, you will find more constructions going on. So they don't achieve a COD, unlike what you have a power project or a metro. So the challenges are there. We have to look at infrastructure project in a different way, in the way that the projects are coming up. And we have to modify our internal system to meet those things. So those are there, challenges are there. And as a PSU, we have been working a lot to take the things forward. Thank you.
No, thank you, Shri Sinha ji, I think. Shri Harish ji, if I have to ask your perspective on the same subject, what is your perspective?
Yes. Railtel works in ICT domain, and since Government of India's initiative of Digital India, Railtel has got a lot of opportunities. And since then, we have adopted PPP model. And I will give you two examples where Railtel has done significantly good. First is the Railwire. Through Railwire, Railtel provides OTT platform and broadband services. Right now, we are having more than 5.7 lakh subscribers to this service. And we are providing this service with the help of more than 10,500 cable TV operators. So with their association, Railtel is now 14th largest broadband service provider in India and 4th largest in rural India. Our subscriber, 57% subscriber are from rural India. So thereby we are removing the digital disconnect with rural India. And the second example is our business associate. We have engaged a business associate long back, and since 2015, when Government of India launched a Digital India initiative, at that time our business in 2014 and 15 was only 36 crore. But with the help of our business associate, we have empaneled around 350, more than 350 business associate as on date, out of which more than 50 are startups. And with the help of these business associates, our project business has expanded to more than 1,300 crore in the last financial year. So as far as the challenges faced in PPP with our private partners, we are engaging them mostly in the project segment with them. So in the project segment, we get very small window of engaging with them. We have got multiple private partners. We have got very limited window to interact with them, to engage them. So to align our expertise and resources within that short window time, it sometimes becomes very challenging. And once we win the bid, our association with them is for a longer period of time. After bid submission, during implementation stage, and after that during O&M phase also. And if there is any misalignment of our resources, then delivery also get delayed, and there are some legal challenges also. So, regarding opportunities available in the PPP segment, I can point out about the two opportunities. For delivering our project segment, we are expanding our data center business with the help of our private partners. We are going to implement around 102 edge data centers, mainly in the tier 2 and tier 3 towns, which will provide low latency services to the end users, which is very much required in the field of gaming, live streaming, and IoT applications. So we have engaged Techno Electric for this purpose. And the second opportunity is in the field of Indian Railways signaling modernization. I'm referring specifically to the Kavach implementation of Government of India. Government of India is implementing Kavach. At present, they have planned over 34,000 kilometers, and which will cost roughly around 1 lakh crore in next 4 to 5 years. And we have engaged we have exclusive partnership with the Quadrant Electric for that purpose. And Railtel is gearing up to participate in that opportunity.
No, I think that's a great things you have done, and we've seen all this, especially the Kavach one was talking about. I think there's good learning in a PPP model, and these are the things going to take overall PSU contribution to the higher level, because private do bring some learning, and they do bring some technology for us, which is great.
May
Now,
I add
please.
something on my experience with PPP. For a PPP to be successful, it's very important that how you share the risk. What kind of risk can be given to the private party? Like in metros, what's happening, if we give traffic risk to the private party, it's unsustainable. Yeah. That's what happened with the Reliance Metro, that's what happened, what's happening in Hyderabad Metro, and that's what's happening in Mumbai Line 1 also. So in O&M contracts, I think the cost plus basis contracts are sustainable in PPP mode, but if you give all kind of risk, including the traffic risk, it's very difficult to sustain participation by private parties.
Thank you, Dr. Jain. Now coming back to you, I think the third tribe, talking about the balancing economic viability and the sustainability. I know we just spoke, I think Mr. Sinha talked about the sustainability, zero carbon stuff. In your house, your organization is basically integrating sustainability into its operation. What are some of the key challenges in achieving this from your perspective?
Yeah, sustainability has been in our DNA since beginning.
Yeah.
Metro is known for being sustainable as a mode of transportation. We are around 1/6, we consume 1/6 of the energy as compared to road transportation for same passenger kilometers. So that is part and parcel of our organization. What we are doing in operations, Like we have 35% of our energy comes from solar power. And our braking system generates energy when braking happens. We call it regenerative braking. 20% of the energy is generated back. So my motor, that is a traction motor, that becomes the generator when brakes are applied in the train, and 20% energy is regenerated and that is fed back into the grid. Then we have regenerative braking in our lift escalators also. Our chiller plants are energy efficient with the VFD technology. We are using LED mostly. We are the first metro system in the world who have earned carbon credit for our regenerative braking and modal shift. We have our own policies for water management, waste management. We have rainwater harvesting. So there are a number of measures that we are taking to remain sustainable. So what are the learnings and challenges? So in terms of learning, I would say that people think that these measures are costly. Let me tell you, these measures are very, very cost effective. In long term, they help you. Again, giving you the example of solar power. We are having solar power, solar panels on our stations, in our depots, and we are also importing solar power from Riva. There is an off-site power plant, solar power plant in MP. When we started importing this energy, this was a little costlier than the locally available power through discoms. But today, we get this Riva solar power at a rate of ₹7 around, and whereas the local power that we get from discom costs us around 9.5 rupees per unit. And our own power that we generate from our rooftop, that cost only around 4.5 rupees. So solar power is now cheaper than our locally available power through discom. And see, when we started thinking about solar power, vision was sustainability, not the power to get the power at the lower cost. But in the long run, this decision has been very, very helpful in reducing our cost of the power. So learning is that work with the long-term vision, and sustainable measures can maybe not only environmentally sustainable, but also financially sustainable. This is one of the learning. Yeah. No. And we have to build this culture of incorporating, including sustainable measures in our organization.
Thank you, Dr. Jain. I mean, Shri Pawaria, your comment on the similar subject.
Yes. Railtel is also involved in ensuring sustainability practices, and we are working very actively to reduce our carbon footprint, because we are working in the domain of data center and operation of OFC network. So we are continuously trying to reduce our carbon footprint, and our telecom network is already ISO 14001 certified, and we are making effort to make our data center with the same certification in the next 1 year, and which will help to reduce our carbon footprint. And apart from that, we are already publishing our BRSR report annually, which reflect our effort in achieving carbon neutrality over a longer period of time. And we are also, in our CSR initiative, we are also focusing on sustainability so that at least our partners who are engaged in CSR activities, they are working actively towards reducing carbon footprint. Thank you.
No, thank you, man. And in the interest of time, I know I'm aware that we're running short of time and we need to basically wrap up as soon as possible. Now, coming to you, Mr. Sinha, I think you mentioned about zero carbon economy, and as a lending institutions, what role you think PFC should be playing to ensure that the financing to the PSU in terms of bringing the zero carbon economy, what sort of financial product support, I mean, lending institution, the financial institution should basically play?
See, we have been supporting this government initiative in net carbon zero, and that is why the renewable projects, the green power, has been our thrust area, and we have modified our policies, systems, so that whatever best support we can give to the renewable sector, we have done. For example, we have the interest rate that is the main factor that is considered for funding. Is we have a different subsidized rate for the renewable sector. Apart from that, the various things which are required to develop the renewable sector, like if you have a solar project or a wind project that has to come up, the EPC contract is placed for 1,000 crores. The company which is to supply those, they also need funding. So we have notified our product that we can give financial support to such companies which are going to provide those machineries, like solar panel manufacturing or wind turbine manufacturing. We have a product like that. Apart from that, to participate in the bidding process, they need to give an BG. And if they go to the banks, they ask for a margin, 100% margin these days. We do have a policy of LOU. We can give a letter of undertaking so that based on that, they can take BG from the banks. And so those type of products, we have been thinking into, looking into the system and what is required to develop those projects. We have been notifying various policies and so that the projects come up on time and we meet the target dates. That is how we are working on.
No, thank you, Mr. Sinha. I think that's required, that's mandatory. Money is what the basic part. So thank you. I know we time's up and we crossed the time limit. I do have a time just for one question. Is there any question from the audience? Just please raise your mic and introduce yourself and ask any question if you have to the panelists. We'll be happy to answer. Just one question, please. If there's no question, then we can wrap up. They are available after the session. Maybe you can discuss, we can find out. And no questions. So thank you for sharing your perspective. I think collectively we have a better information about the perspective inside, how we can make those incremental 25 trillion economy, what the country is looking like, and how PSU can drive that agenda, whether talk about the self-discipline, bringing those collective growth, innovation, and this decision making, and of course the sustainability is the one part of this one. Thank you for your perspective. Thanks.